disruptive.
America that I fought for.
Weird thing to happen.
Oh, folks, what a week we've had. And while people are still investigating, questioning, going into details about what exactly happened on the day that Charlie Kirk was assassinated, the FBI that gave us this elaborate, detailed explanation that some 22-year-old who apparently got ratted out by his father, had a change of clothes, had been radicalized by leftist ideology, apparently had a roommate lover who was transitioning. There was a text exchange. And going into detail about that, they had a note, but they can't bring you the note because the note apparently mysteriously vanished, but they got it through forensic evidence, so on and so forth. They keep piling on details to almost psych you out. Almost psych you out. Because they don't want people to actually look into detail. They don't want people to further investigate it. And now, just shortly after a week, the FBI is now announcing, case closed. It's over. We got a suspect. It was a lone gunman. Don't ask any questions. Shut the hell up. Shut down the play. It's over. Okay? Show's over. Walk away. That is what the FBI is now telling you, folks. And I find it just shocking. Shocking. Because there are so many questions that need to be asked. So many answers that need to be dug up. There are so many things that we can look at that just seems absolutely flawed about the whole story. And I even said, walking into this, that I wasn't going to believe what the FBI is going to publish. We know this is the same FBI that has lied year after year, that has manipulated, that has, coincided to deceive upon Americans. You know, they made up the fake kidnapping to go after the governor of Michigan. This is the same FBI under the Biden administration that has done scandals. They, coincide with the Hillary Clinton campaign to develop Russiagate, which we know is a big giant hoax. So I don't, for any moment, have any trust, any sort of reliability with the FBI. But they want us to believe this official story. They want us to just say, okay, case closed. You found this 22-year-old suspect that apparently jumped onto the roof of a college campus building without anyone noticing with a highly powerful rifle and shot at a distance that military marksmen, and I'm seeing like sniper experts on social media even denouncing this, that somehow, how can a 22-year-old be able to take a shot like this? And how Charlie Kirk was shot where it was coming out of the neck seemed absolutely impossible, that it came from such a distance that far away, that there had to be somebody else, that there could have been a second shooter. But they want us to, ignore it. They want us to wrap this up. They want us to just go away. Kash Patel wants to have a victory, even though he's been lying to us nefariously. It's just absolutely crazy. And I'm not the only one that thinks so. Here is from Redacted. This is Clayton Morris. And he's even saying how outrageous this is, that they're already wrapping up an investigation, that we have so many questions, so much other evidence that we need to look for, so many other people that we should be investigating, that this 22-year-old may not be the only suspect, that there's other people in the crowd, there's other people within the range of where Charlie Kirk was in that should also be suspected and highlighted. And also the first guy that they claimed was the suspect, that older gentleman, I think his name was George Zinn. I believe that was his name. We don't know much about him. We kind of, brushed him off after the FBI said that he wasn't a suspect. But now all of a sudden he's back in the news because they have found some kitty, child assault pictures on his laptop. Go figure. But here's what Clayton Morris says.
This is outrageous, and I'm pretty furious about it, but I did want to come in and report what I just learned from a high-level source. This is confirmed, by the way, at the highest levels, that this is about to happen. The FBI, according to my source, is about to wrap up their investigation into the assassination of Charlie Kirk. They're done. And they're set to announce that Tyler Robinson is the lone gunman. End of story. Move along. Nothing to see here. That is what the FBI is set to announce. Here we are just 7 days afterwards, and they are ready to come out and make this report. So nothing to see here. Move along. Don't question anything. All of you, Green Berets and sniper experts and ballistics experts that have so many questions about the trajectory of the bullet. Was it fired by a person on the roof? Doesn't look like it to you at all.
And I'm willing to kind of throw it off as coincidental because we already have our answer to kind of direction of the bullet. It's quite literally not possible to do what was done from a straight on shot. It doesn't happen. And I would say there's not two shooters. I would say there's a single shooter.
Don't ask questions. You're done.
He got hit at the base of the skull here probably, right? And so we're talking, this is immediate incapacitation. He didn't die from blood loss. He died instantly.
The FBI is about to tell you no more questions. Lone gunman, Tyler Robinson on the roof. It's outrageous. It's outrageous. 7 days? I mean, who knows exactly when they're going to make this announcement that they're done? It's coming. Kash Patel needs a victory after being so embarrassed in the early days, arresting individuals, letting them go, telling all of us that he caught them and then having to let them go, testifying before Congress the other day and making a fool of himself, telling the world that the FBI is now the most transparent organization that it's ever been. I mean, it's laughable. And he lied right to Congress, and then Thomas Massie has to call him out right to his face about lying to Congress? Okay, so 7 days. We're getting a wrap-up of this investigation. Tyler Robinson is the lone gunman. Thanks, FBI. May I remind you that January 6th, 4 years ago, is still not done. Technically, there are cases still open for the January 6th investigation. For the 1,500 people or 2,000 that entered the Capitol building. There were 3,000 people at Charlie Kirk's event.
The tent, so it would be in the camera. And just move. What's that?
Holy shit! Holy shit!
4 years later, you're still investigating January 6th, but in 7 days, you're done? You've taken police statements from everyone there. You've concluded without a shadow of a doubt it was this guy. He's your guy. Great. Then please release the other 10 seconds of video that you haven't released to us so far that shows him in a prone position on the rooftop firing this weapon. Because in your YouTube video, FBI, right in the FBI's YouTube video, it says clear as day, he shot and killed Charlie Kirk. You didn't know his name at the time, but you were certain this guy shot and killed Charlie Kirk, but yet in the video, we only see him running. You don't show us the beginning of the video at all. Where's the gun? Is that a gun that he's carrying off the roof? Others say no, it's simply a hoodie that he has in his hands. All they found was a screwdriver on the roof. And they conveniently found this bolt-action rifle in the woods. Great. Don't ask questions anymore. Forget the 10 seconds of missing video. You don't need to see him actually pull the trigger. We're done. Stop asking questions. He didn't have any help. He wasn't radicalized by some group anywhere. It was just him with a grudge. Oh, and by the way, new photos emerging of him going to McDonald's at 6:30 at night afterwards, and he went to great lengths to change his clothes, ditch his clothes. So he's back into the clothes that people saw him wearing earlier, and he's just casually having dinner at McDonald's at 6:30 at night, where there's cameras everywhere. He went to such great lengths to avoid cameras all day. So he goes to a McDonald's? Didn't he learn anything from Luigi Mangione, who was caught at a McDonald's, sitting in the back in a disguise? Even that disguise didn't help him at McDonald's. I mean, you want to go to a restaurant that has more cameras, good luck. Probably CIA headquarters cafe has more cameras than McDonald's, but that's probably it. So, I mean, I'm furious about it. I'm outraged about it. You're done. You've examined all the cameras on that campus, the hundreds of high-definition security cameras that are all over the campus. We've been told that he's not even cooperating. We spoke to a prosecutor today. He said the big tell here is that he hasn't confessed anything. He hasn't confessed anything. He's not talking. He's not communicating. So you feel that your evidence is overwhelming. He acted alone. Done. Case closed. You've looked through the text messages with his tranny lover, and that's all. You're good. No, nothing else to see here. You've examined all the Turning Points USA video camera footage, the one that was in.
And by the way, he mentions about the text exchange that other people have gone into detail. I was going to cover it, but it just seems too lengthy. It just going through all of it was just a cluster. But you could read for it for yourself. And it was just, again, they're adding on so much detail that just does not make sense. The fact that a 22-year-old, while on the run, supposedly, these are the text exchange that was going on while he was escaping from the university and heading out to the woods. He was texting his roommate/lover all these deranged messages, like stuff you can't imagine a text message would be. Like, I wouldn't even text someone like that. But supposedly, I'm supposed to believe a 22-year-old, while running, is holding his phone, texting his roommate lover. all these weird, long messages using words like retrieved and vehicle. It literally looked like something out of ChatGPT. Like, when was the last time you told someone you're going to your vehicle? When was the last time you used the word retrieved to another person? It makes absolutely no sense. But, again, this is the FBI we're talking about. The FBI that will impose a story to psych people out, to make you believe that, oh, they did their work. Congratulations. You caught the lone suspect. No further questions. No further details. It's just like the JFK assassination. Oh, it's Lee Harvey Oswald. No further questions. That some deranged man got onto the clock tower in Dallas and fired that magic bullet that went right into the president. No further questions. No further suspects. Just move along, shut the hell up. Anyone that asks questions now may be tried to hate speech. Which makes me even more furious about this, is the aftermath of Charlie Kirk's assassination. Now we're seeing the people that supposedly adore and love and supported Charlie Kirk and, want his legacy to continue, now taking that legacy and tarnishing it by attacking people for hate speech. Did you know Charlie Kirk? Charlie Kirk was the one who was a vocal advocate for free speech. Why do you think he did all these debates? Why do you think he allowed for Tucker Carlson and Dave Smith and so many other people to attend Turning Point USA? That many of them probably not agree on the same issues because he believed in free speech. But now you have Pam Bondi, now you have Kash Patel, now you have Donald Trump himself talking about, oh, we got to start cracking down on people that are spreading hate speech. Did we not live the last 4 years under the Biden administration? Do you not see what's happening in the UK? Do you not see what's happening here in Canada? And now you want to put it onto Americans, the MAGA crowd, the people who are supposed to be free speech absolutists, that we saved the culture wars. Now you want to crack down your own civilians for hate speech in Charlie Kirk's name. That, to me, and again, I'm no fan of Charlie Kirk, but even I'm pissed off. That's insulting. That's absolutely insulting. That this is now the aftermath, the legacy, that you're using Charlie Kirk's name to impose this authoritarian measure that I know for a fact Charlie Kirk would not agree to at all. Let alone this disastrous investigation.
In front of him to the left, the one that was behind him facing out. You've interviewed all of these individuals. You're good to go. Great. So, I just don't know what kind of world we live in right now. I'm just so furious about this. I'm outraged. And I know a lot of other people are outraged about this. But yeah, hey, all of you, you sniper experts, you Green Berets out there who said he clearly was not shot from the front. He was shot from the side, went through his neck, killed him instantly, went out the other side. We don't want to hear from you anymore because according to the FBI, he was shot from the front. And that's all you need to know. We're done. We're done here. Oh, and by the way, he was such a good shot.
Just like how the government doesn't want to hear, experts on the magic bullets that shot JFK. Just like the people that, the physicists and the experts that designed buildings, the architects, they weren't allowed to speak about 9/11. And anyone that spoke about 9/11 was deemed a 9/11 truther. Remember that? When was the truth so demonized that you became a truther? That's some sort of bad thing. Oh, I want to further investigate a very significant and important day in society that impacted a lot of people. A horrific day that still has not been fully resolved. I want to further investigate that. What are you, some sort of truther? What are you, some sort of truther? Even recently, look at the people that looked up and got medical information about COVID. that was starting to contradict the narratives that were going against these horrific mandates that were proven unscientific. And they were going out talking to doctors, they were getting medical advice from researchers and investigators, and people were coming together to start questioning COVID narrative. Again, they demonized the people that were doing the research. What are you doing your own research? You're not a doctor. You're not a medical advisor. Shut the hell up. Shut the hell up. Just believe Bill Gates, of all people. Bill Gates, who barely has an education. Yeah, let's trust him. Let's trust Anthony Fauci, who is a lying scumbag who should be in prison, not having documentaries produced by Disney. It is absolutely infuriating, folks. And it's even more infuriating that we live in a time in 2025 where we have the ability of social media, where we have the ability of people reaching out. Clayton Morris mentions about, experts of, snipers and military and ex-Green Beret and people that have investigated the trajectory of the bullets that didn't make sense the way Charlie Kirk was shot, that it came from this distance, that it came from a shorter angle, or there may have been a second gunman, or that couldn't have been from that rifle. They don't want to hear from them. They don't want to hear from them. They want you to shut the hell up, and anyone that says differently, you're spreading hate speech. Unbelievable. Unbelievable that this is happening. So, even for myself, again, I'm not a fan of Charlie Kirk, but I condemn what happened to him. I condemn political violence on a principle. I don't care who the suspect is. We don't know for sure who exactly did this or why exactly they did this. But I know for a fact that the official story cannot be the only shut case. Just like Oliver Stone, when he produced the 1991 movie JFK, in that movie, in that scene, the top lead investigator, it wasn't, it was Oliver Stone trying to preach to the audience to say that we don't know for sure what exactly happened. This is just my theory of the situation. But I could tell you that the official narrative can't hold up. It can't hold up. There's too many flaws to it, and that's why people have dedicated themselves to further investigating it. But I guess you can't do that anymore. But they're going to pile up more and more of this just weird narrative. Like here, this is the New York Post just recently that apparently got an article saying that Charlie Kirk's assassination suspect had a furry fixation and his trans boyfriend proclaimed support for Biden on social media. What? I don't understand what that has to do with Charlie Kirk being assassinated on September the 10th. And again, this is one of the things that kind of just completely, I don't believe the official narrative, is because if we're expected to believe, if hypothetically, let's say this lefty lunatic did assassinate Charlie Kirk. Let's hypothetically say that. Why specifically that day? Why specifically at that location? How did a 22-year-old able to know Charlie Kirk was attending this university, climb up to the building with a rifle, 2 different changes of clothes, shot him at an angle and at a distance that a military marksman can't even do, jump off the building, disassemble the rifle, then reassemble it, hide it into the woods, and then run to a Dairy Queen? How is that possible? How is that possible? That doesn't, just even stating that doesn't make sense. And as we've been investigating, as I've been reporting, we've been diving into details on, other people that were in attendance, other people that are highly questionable and suspect. We've also mentioned about, the possibility, I'm not saying for sure, the possibility that Israel has a connection to this, that we know that Charlie Kirk in his final days had, questions, was getting a bit more concerned. He was evolving his, principled stances. He was looking at things differently, and that concerns a lot of people, especially the donors especially the donors that donate to Charlie Kirk's campaign. They were starting to get infuriated. They were infuriated when Tucker Carlson and Dave Smith, who are two vocal, anti-Israel, anti-Zionist, advocates that were questioning things. They didn't want them being part of TPUSA. And Candace Owens doing her work on, bringing the receipts and coming together on this. I can't confirm nor deny that. That's a possibility, but there's also a lot of other possibilities. We could also, speculate that the fact that Charlie Kirk was also on the Ukrainian hit list. So there's a possibility that maybe with the Trump administration furthering the Ukrainian war, not preventing it, not wrapping it up in 24 hours like they were promised, that maybe that could also be highly suspected. That maybe they wanted Charlie Kirk out, who has been questioning the Ukraine war, that doesn't want advanced warfare for foreign countries. That could also be the thing. It could also be the state itself, that maybe they just wanted Charlie Kirk out to put in a more predominant, more state-approved appointee to run Turning Point USA. You got to keep in mind that Charlie Kirk was highly influential. That Turning Point USA was a very big organization. And people even said that have spoken since Charlie Kirk's death that he could have been the next president, because the younger generation adored him, especially young conservatives. They adored him. And, he was getting big on alternative media. He was getting big in the podcast world. He was doing these college tours. So he has a lot of influence. And again, this is why I'm highly suspected of the whole lefty trans ideology, that this radical, 22-year-old took the shot. Again, why specifically on September 10th out of all days? And why specifically a person like Charlie Kirk, who seems to be the most moderate out of all the other people? Like, when you think about like right-wing extremists, I don't think of Charlie Kirk as being one of them. He may have some contrary views that I don't necessarily agree with, but he was very modest. He was very moderate compared to other individuals that are out there that I would say maybe worse than Charlie Kirk. But again, I condone political violence to anybody. I condone whoever the suspect is, whoever is the victim of this. I condone it on a principle basis. This should never happen to anybody, regardless of what they believe. And here's also this. Again, the fact that the FBI is wrapping this up without all these different details that are coming out that are illuminating on social media and not being addressed, I just want to point this out. So, Shadow of Ezra says a Turning Point USA member has revealed that the person in this video is Charlie Kirk's lead videographer. The footage taken from the camera has already been handed over to the FBI for investigation. There is no timeline or clear answer on whether the public will ever get to see this footage. We have not seen this. And the other question that I ask about this, let's see the footage. The other question I ask is, if this is the lead videographer to Charlie Kirk, why is he tampering with a crime scene? Why, again, why is he going up onto a chair to collect a camera in the crime scene that Charlie Kirk was assassinated? I think we've all seen enough crime shows. I think we've all seen enough, CSI, Law and Order, NCIS, whatever, to know that if there is a murder, if there's a murder at the scene, you don't go around and start collecting camera footage. You don't start dismantling the area until the investigators come and examine first. But we have seen clip after clip after clip of that being done. So why is the FBI ignoring details like this? Why is this not being examined? And why are we not allowed to see this footage? Or, as we stated before, the two men that were given the hand signals. Remember that? The two gentlemen behind him that were giving hand signals for someone in the audience. We don't know for sure who it is, why they're giving hand signals, but these two were not brought into interrogation. These two were not questioned. Here's now the end begins, says two men in Charlie Kirk's security detail performing what appears to be hand signals or signs immediately before a shot. This is a strange coincidence or a pre-planned action. So let's just show once again.
Do you know how many mass shooters there have been in America over the last 10 years?
Counting or not counting gang violence?
Great. Do you know how many mass shooters there have been?
So these two were never investigated, caught by the FBI. We don't know anything about these two. But we have numerous times of evidence to expose this. Again, it's just so baffling. It's so baffling that all these questions, all these concerns, all these key players that we're witnessing and we're able to expose because of social media, because everyone has a camera. Anyone that has a smartphone has the ability to expose and be a journalist and be an investigator to show all this. And the FBI is just saying, no, we're done. Case closed. We already have the details. So, yeah, I would be furious. I am furious. And same as Clayton Morris. Same with a lot of people. They're furious at the fact that the FBI is clearly hiding something on this. And even when they have certain details that back their claim, it just seems way too suspicious. Here, for example, here's Kash Patel on Fox News claiming that they had a note, claiming that they went and they dove around at Tyler Robinson's, I guess, dormitory or apartment that he was in with his lover, and supposedly they found a note. But they can't show us the note because the note disappeared. But here's what Kash Patel is trying to convince the people in the audience, the people watching this, that what he knows on the note is factually true because of forensic evidence. They found it forensically. I don't know how that's possible, but here's what his claim is.
Did he write a written note before the assassination attempt? That's what the governor said yesterday. And what did that say, if you could share
what I'm
that
able
with
to
us?
say, I'm sorry. So what I'm able to say is I addressed it partially earlier, is that the written note, we believe, what did exist, and we have evidence to show what was in that note, which is, and I'm going to summarize, basically saying, the suspect wrote a note saying, I have the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk.
So there's a note apparently that they don't have because it's gone. But Kash Patel is going to summarize that note, even though he just said that we have the ability to detail what was on that note. So why wouldn't the FBI just release it to the public? Why wouldn't the FBI just create a copy or even write in detail of what that note is? Why is Kash Patel paraphrasing a note that may or may not exist? Again, none of this makes sense. None of this makes sense. But this is trying to psych you out to make you believe their official narrative and not to question anything else. Oh, these lunatics on the internet that are posting these images and videos that are highly suspected of, going in a different direction. We got to further investigate. No. You got to believe me. Trust me, bro. Trust me. I found a note that disappeared, but we have the forensic technology to make it reappear like dark magic. And I'm going to paraphrase it to you. instead of just releasing the note to the general public so that they can take it in, so that they can read it. You did it with the text messages. You did it with the text messages that are supposedly in the message exchange. Tyler Robinson told his roommate to delete them, which again, all of it's very suspect. If you look at the details, you can go into the text messages yourself. Very, very suspect. Very, very just. It's almost like a circus at this point, this investigation. And this is what Kash Patel is trying to convince his audience. Let's just hear it again.
Did he write a written note before the assassination attempt? That's what the governor said yesterday. And what did that say? If you could.
So what I'm able to say. I'm sorry. So what I'm able to say is I addressed it partially earlier, is that the written note, we believe, what did exist, and we have evidence to show what was in that note, which is, and I'm going to summarize, basically saying, the suspect wrote a note saying, I have the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk, and I'm going to take it. That note was written before the shooting. Evidence of its existence, we now have learned, existed before the shooting, was in the location in the suspect and partner's home. But we have since learned that the note, even though it has been destroyed, we have found forensic evidence of the note, and we have confirmed what that note says because of our aggressive interview posture at the FBI.
So there's a note that got destroyed, but we used some forensic way to bring it back to life. I'm paraphrasing it to you, the Fox News audience, and we can confirm that because we harassed his lover. What was the word that he used? What was the word that he used?
Interview posture because of our aggressive interview posture at the
aggressive interview posture. Now, forgive me, does that not sound like enhanced interrogation? Does that not sound like torture to you? Just another word for it? You know, they tried to switch it around so that people, aren't suspected to think that, oh, the FBI is going to torture an American citizen. What the hell is that? No, we can't allow that. They're doing enhanced interrogation. That's totally different. And then people realize what enhanced interrogation really is. That's just torture. It's just another name for it. So now they're using this. Like, I'm just baffled. I am shocked. I am speechless that this is what they're trying to convince their audience. And a lot of people are believing this. And as I said to people, this is the same FBI. Regardless if it's Kash Patel or whoever the case may be, different character, same game. The same FBI that continuously lies to you. The same FBI that has done malice practices against the American citizen. And even with Kash Patel, here's him recently, just shortly after Charlie Kirk's assassination, he was brought to Congress to speak about Epstein. And we know that Kash Patel has been lying about Jeffrey Epstein. They lied about how they found the evidence and clearly Jeffrey Epstein self-deleted himself. They lied. Then they botched the security camera footage that CBS News caught. And now here's Kash Patel lying again, saying right to Congress and right to the nation that, Jeffrey Epstein didn't actually traffic people. What? After making a huge campaign, after him and Dan Bongino and Pam Bondi and Donald Trump and the whole MAGA crowd making a big giant kerfuffle over exposing Jeffrey Epstein, now they're in a position of power. Now they have the authority. Now they have the responsibility. They have the mandate to provide this evidence. And here they are lying to you again. Lying to you again. By now proclaiming that Jeffrey Epstein wasn't actually trafficking to anyone else. Unbelievable. Listen to this.
No credible information. None. If there were, I would bring the case yesterday. that he trafficked to other individuals. And the information we have, again, is limited.
So the answer is no one
For the information that we have
in the files.
in the case file.
Okay.
Is no credible information.
Yeah, no evidence. No evidence whatsoever. So I guess, Bill Clinton is innocent. I guess Bill Gates is innocent. I guess Prince Andrew is innocent. I guess Donald Trump is innocent. I guess, Wexler is also innocent. I guess all these individuals that were in Jeffrey Epstein's circle are innocent. I guess Ghislaine Maxwell, serving a 20-year prison sentence in federal prison, in federal jail, is there for nothing. That, Jeffrey Epstein was just doing this himself. He miraculously, died in a cell. No further questions, no further explanation, no further examination. Even for Kash Patel to say that when he says, it's in the files, it's in the information. Well, why not release that information? Okay, we have nothing to say about Jeffrey Epstein. Barely anything. You got the doxed footage delivered to CBS News that you purposely manipulated. That's great. But you don't have actual evidence to prove this network, whether it exists or not. Unbelievable. I guess we should also say that Virginia Giuffre in Australia just died by a coincidence. I guess we should say that all the people that were silenced out to not reveal this information, I guess they're also a bunch of liars. Like, it makes me furious. It really makes me furious. It's time, literally, when you see this kind of information, when you kind of see how it doesn't even matter who you vote for anymore, as I have, came to that conclusion, as I'm telling people, doesn't matter who's in power, who's in the office, it's the same game. The same hideous organization deliberately used to exploit people. And this is a moment. This is the turning point here that America and the rest of the world needs to wake up to realize this. That none of these agencies, none of these government officials, none of them are on your side. That they're purposely there in a position to make you believe that we have healthy democracies, that you have choice, that, we live in a democratic society. We don't have that. None of us have that. The Western hemisphere, all these Western democratic countries lost their sovereignty years ago. They lost their ability to govern themselves years ago because we have deep state manipulators. We have globalist empires. We have all these different entities surrounding us, taking over, dominating our legislators, our lawmakers, our culture, our media. So do not take a word of what Kash Patel and Dan Bongino and Pam Bondi and any of the rest of the Trump administration have to say about it. Don't listen to a word what the Democrats are saying. Don't listen to a word what any of these officials are saying, because it does not add up. None of this is adding up. And they're continuously lying to you right to your face. Again, in 2025, we have the ability to look up this information. We have the ability in real time to fact check these people, which is why they've become so paranoid. And now they're cracking down on people for hate speech, which all it means is criticism. They don't want to be criticized. The same way the Biden administration did the same thing. So wake up, America. Wake up. Wake up, world. Because these people are your enemy. These people are your enemy. It's not left versus right. It's us versus them. They are them. They are the monsters. They are the evil that has incorporated this catastrophic damage that is done to our society. And they are purposely vetting this deranged narrative to psych people out, to cause this division. Why do you think they're okay and just almost gleeful about the fact that after Charlie Kirk's assassination, everybody on social media was, screaming about an uproar, how we need to have a civil war, how the left and the right need to beat each other up because they want that. They're sowing the seeds for further division. They want society to crumble so that their billionaire donors can then sweep up the ashes, and reestablish the society that they want, where it's mass surveillance, where it's social credit scores, where it's digital currencies, where you have restricted freedoms, where you're no longer an individual and you are now a prisoner of the World Economic Forum, a prisoner of Palantir, a prisoner of these multi-giant AI agencies that have now taken over. People need to wake the hell up. And as a Canadian, I'm infuriated. As a Canadian that disagrees with Charlie Kirk, I am infuriated that the FBI is wrapping this up without any further questions, any further evidence, continuously lying to you, exposing what hideous monsters they are, how they're deliberate liars, and sucking people in, telling you have to believe this story. Trust us, bro. And if you don't, Pam Bondi and the Trump administration is going to crack down on you and tell you that it's hate speech. That should infuriate people. It should infuriate people. And for the people that are using Charlie Kirk's name and his legacy to promote this, shame on you. Shame on you. Because Charlie Kirk was many things. Charlie Kirk was also an advocate for free speech. Why do you think he did these debates? Why do you think he went to college campuses? Why do you think he allowed for people to express their opinion on Turning Point USA? And now to use his name in this regard, shame. May God have mercy on your soul.